Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Afro News at Noon, where we give you a bite-sized taste of news that you can use. I am just so elated to be with you all this wonderful December day, the last official day of fall. And that sun is shining. And so for that, I am thankful. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Wonderful.
Good.
Wonderful. Countdown to Christmas.
I can't believe it's Monday already.
I know.
That's where I am too, Riv. Is I can't believe it's Monday already. It looks like Jessica is sort of on. Let's see if we can bring her up. Jess, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear.
Yes.
Oh, finally.
Beautiful picture. Welcome. How you feeling today?
I'm well. All of you look so good and you're red too. I'm like, ooh. It's the Christmas spirit. I feel it.
Spirit.
Indeed. Well, as you all know, we normally start with a weekend wow. In our previous editorial meeting, we all agreed we didn't have much of a wow weekend, except the woman that you all know you're going to get a good story from. Youth. I remember my 20s. Megan Sales. Tell us with your weekend wow.
So,
folks out there.
Yesterday, my family organized, we called it Dipmas. So we had it before Christmas. Everybody made a different dip. I made a jalapeno popper dip. Someone made a pizza dip, spinach and artichoke dip. And then we made gingerbread houses together. That wasn't really my forte because I'm not very good at decorating and kind of creativity in that way. But some other people's were really good. So I did not win the gingerbread house making contest, but everybody liked my dip. So I was happy about that.
Which dip did you do?
Jalapeno popper.
You did the jalapeno popper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna have to drop that recipe in the comments for us. Okay,
It's really good and really easy.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Also, for those out there, am I the only one taking the dipness idea? I love that. I'm going to make my family do that. That's so awesome, Megan.
But I think she buried the lead. What happened to all that gingerbread?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The houses. Who got the houses?
Oh, my mom and my aunt went out shopping last week to get everybody a different house. We had like a camper. We had mini houses. We had the chocolate houses. Different. We had little gingerbread men. It was a big thing.
Well, Megan's in charge of next year's Christmas party.
Yeah.
I second that. Yes.
I'm here for it. Anybody else have a weekend wow before we move on?
We're boring.
Yeah.
Oh, we Ralph. That's why we tried to get her not to do it.
I know. It's just that for all those loyal followers, and we see you tuning in today, and we thank you. We have to, keep the continuity going. I wish we weren't so incredibly boring, but that's why we need Megan to keep us going. So thank you for that, Megan. Actually, I will share this because we are thankful for life. 2 of my really close friends from high school turned 30 yesterday. I missed both of their celebrations because fatigue and Omicron are real. But I did get to participate in my cousin-in-law, who's more like a brother or brother-in-law's 30th birthday surprise yesterday. My cousin has been planning this since July. And for all of those out there who have been rocking with the Afro for a while, y'all know that October 2020, I was her maid of honor. And I was in that wedding planning from like June to October in a very hard and heavy way. So y'all know that this surprise party was absolutely fabulous, and it was actually combined his best friend since fourth grade and him both turned 30, and so it was a surprise COVID safe celebration, and it was beautiful yesterday afternoon. So I uplift their lives as well. 30 years of service to God and God's people. And it was a fun time.
Good, good, good.
So I know that there is news that the folks can use out there before we go into some of our fun holiday editorial coverage and celebration. Um, Rev, do you want to share the news that you had for the people?
Well, we have a new series on our website beginning today. It's a three-part um series that has been written by students from Howard University. We got it from Howard News Story Service. It is unfortunately stories about young people who have lost their parents due to the coronavirus. And, we think about the different aspects, but we don't always think about those who have been sick and recovered, the long haulers, as they call them, but also the families and how the families have been redefined because of this ongoing thing. So we have three stories of families in different areas of the country and how they have had to adapt and how grandparents are raising grandchildren and all of that. They seem to be doing well, but it's a good reminder of how fortunate we are and a reminder to pray for those who are still really struggling through all of this new unknown that we're going through. So please check it out on afro.com. It begins today.
Thank you for that. That is such a good reminder. And folks, check it out. And again, sharing is caring. Share this stream as we give you all information and news that you can use, but also share that information with your village. That series is a reminder that we all can use. Megan, I know that you also had some news for us. Can you share it with the people?
Yeah, and this is kind of goes along with our little holiday theme today. So Vehicles for Change, which is like a Maryland-based organization, awarded 3 new cars to 3 Maryland families. They went to single moms. 2 of them live in Baltimore City, and one of them lives in Dundalk. But yeah, they got a brand new car today, and the trunk had some toys in it for their children. And the moms are kind of looking forward to using the cars for different things. One of them is going to be going back to school. One of them is going to finally be able to take on a full-time job rather than part-time work. And then the other mom is looking forward to taking her kids on little trips to like Dave and Buster's and things like that. So just in the spirit of the holiday, it was a nice little thing that Vehicles for Change did.
That's great news.
That's great. That's amazing and so uplifting. Yes. Anybody else have news they want to share or coverage that they found interesting this weekend before we move on?
Malika, you want to tell the story?
Well, my story was really just it was going to relate to the question, the question that we were supposed to select. And I think I just switched up. The first question I was going to ask, it was, I guess, what the biggest surprise was, but it was kind of depressing. So I remember what else I was surprised. As we all know, because of COVID, the kids were, or at least, well, kids were going to school virtually for so long. And I was really surprised, and I feel bad. I probably shouldn't have been, at how quickly, when my son went back to school this year, how quickly they adapt, or he adapted, and the rest of the kids adapted. I know some of them are having, I guess they're having to get used to being in the building again, but at least as for my child, he did an excellent job. And in some ways, he they had it's a situation where they had to come home, the pipe burst in their school. And so I'm like, okay, we have to get your Chromebook, and what's your, you have to log in. And he's like, I got it. He was like, I'm trying to set up. He's like, let me do it. Let me do it. Like, I was like, number one, I taught you how to use a spoon. Don't talk to me like that. But but I was just pleasantly surprised and very proud of how um I think sometimes we, or at least I, underestimate him because he's a child. But they see and they pick up so much and they watch so much of what we do. And frankly, probably as related to technology is probably some stuff that he could probably tell me. So I guess the biggest surprise, I was just really happy to see how quickly he transitioned back into being in the building. And even when they had to stay home for a little while because of the pipe burst, and he was just so like, oh, when are we? Oh, I can't stand being home. When he got home before, he got a little too comfortable with it. But now he got right back in the swing of things, with his kid, with his classmates, and his progress report and everything was really good. So he's been my biggest surprise this year with his adaptability with getting back in school. And I'm very excited about it.
Good.
I think that's a perfect transition. So thank you, Malika, for sharing that. I think we have to uplift our young people, and that's definitely major news that I don't think is covered or shared enough, is how well they're doing despite all of this, and how resilient they are, and how much they can teach us, like you shared. So, but Reverend Bulware, our amazing managing editor, look at her smiling, so adorable in the corner. she looks innocent, y'all, but she gives us these hard things to think about. And that is what Mylika kicked off for us today, which was Reverend Bulware gave us a list of prompts to think about in terms of the end of the year as well as the holiday season. So, Rev, do you want to share sort of why you wanted us to think about these things, and then the rest of us can share some of our thoughts?
Well, one of the things is that our readers see our articles online, some of them in the Legacy edition. They see the names, but they don't know the people. And so I thought that this is a good way to share, because we have done this in past years where we just wrote the articles on the page. But think about now, we have the chance when Malika talks about her son, people can see the smile all over her face and everything else in the room, because she's so proud of him. So we get to build relationship with our readers, and they understand that we are real people too. We write the stories, but we live our own lives, and we have our own hopes and our own dreams and all of that. And we are lucky and we are blessed to be able to share this with our readers and our online friends. So that was the idea behind it. And I did a whole list of prompts, just like I do writing prompts, so we wouldn't all say the same thing. So I'll share one of mine that I did. One of them was, what was the biggest leap that you took last year? So this is the thing. I have these friends, and friends are supposed to keep you from doing dumb things like, jumping into something that's too deep. I have just completed a course called Journalism Technology Tools. It's a graduate course, and I passed it.
All right now.
Yay!
I figured if I've got to manage these young people, I need to go back to school and learn what they're learning and find out what they're being, taught, so I know what to do. So we lived through this one. We'll see if we make it through the next two. That was my leap. Ralph, what you say you were going to talk about?
Well, I'll try to be brief. It's not easy for me, but the best decision I made was with a group of other people. We decided to launch an initiative to get the first African American saints canonized in the Catholic Church. The first African Americans from America. There are lots of African saints, but there are no American saints. There are 11 white American saints and 0. And one would think an institution would be embarrassed by that in 2021, but they're not easy to embarrass. We launched the campaign, and in fact, on last Tuesday, about a week ago, we sent a box of signatures to the Pope. It contained 1,117 signatures. And we were originally going to send the first 1,000 on January 15th, but we sent him a month early. And interestingly enough, his birthday was about 3 days later. So I hope that box arrived in Rome in time for his birthday, and he'll think it's a present or something. And it is a present, you know. I wrote on Twitter, because he's on Twitter every day, that in the African tradition, you give gifts on your birthday. You don't accept gifts.
Right.
And so we hope that he'll give the gift of canonization to the first African American saints. And we say at the end of each message to him, if not now, when? If not you, who?
Good one.
We borrowed that from the Talmud.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
Very good. Very good.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Jess, I see you're off mute. Do you want to share your response to one of Rev's prompts?
Yes. So the prompt that I chose was about something that I learned this year. And it's been a tough year. Okay. I thought 2020 was rough, but honey, then 2021 showed up and showed out. And I just was completely unprepared. My family was completely unprepared. And just like so many other people. But one thing that I learned is to just let it go. I mean, with all the death, it truly brings out the worst in people. So many people told me that, and I was just like, no, that's not going to be my family. But sure enough, it was my family. And I was like, oh Lord, it just got real ugly. Okay. And real dark. But one thing that, I just had to maintain was just, being neutral and just letting it go. Sometimes you got to love people right where they are. None of us are perfect, and all of us are just doing the best, to maintain what we have. But it's just like, all the animosity, all the things that happened 2 decades ago, you just got to let it go. Life is so short, and a lot of the people who actually passed away in my family this year, it wasn't even because of COVID. Okay. So it was just because of cancer, because of, diabetes, because of all these different things. And it just showed me how short life really is, so just let it go. I encourage everybody to just let it go. It's the holidays. We're about to, come into a new year. Just let it go.
Thank you for that, Jess. Megan, you want to go? I see you're off mute.
Yeah, so I am going to be answering the question, which interview affected you the most? And during the summer, I spoke with the president and CEO of A Kid Again, which is based in Ohio, but they're actually spreading to the DMV very soon. And his name was Oyama Garrison. And I think the interview just like affected me the most because his story was very interesting in that he started out in like the corporate world, right? And he was enjoying it, but he was traveling all the time. I think he worked with like insurance agencies and things. So he was traveling all the time. He didn't get to spend a lot of time with his kids. And sometimes, that kind of upset him. And one day his daughter fell like critically ill and was like rushed to a hospital. And through that experience, she recovered and everything was fine. But through that experience, he realized kind of what's important in life, and that is like his family. And so now he works with A Kid Again, which provides free like adventure trips for kids with life-threatening illnesses. So he kind of just reworked his entire life. He described himself as like a corporate climber beforehand, and now he's just realized what's more important to him. So he gets to spend more time with his family, and then he also gets to bring joy to other families, which I think is really great.
Thank you. That is so uplifting. So I guess I will go next. And thanks to all those in the comments. We really appreciate you, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And yeah, we have a lot to address in our community as a whole. So I have, I guess, my answer rather addresses a few of the questions on your list, Rev, from the thing I learned the most, best decision I made, and the biggest leap I took, because I think all of those are sort of mixed into one for me. This year, I had to step up in a lot of ways for my family, and I had to take the leap and make the decision to go to Chicago and serve as my mother's caregiver, which was very difficult. I mean, I didn't even think about it really, but it was a decision that just sort of inherently happened, and it was a major leap, but so incredibly important. And I'm so happy I did it. From that, none of it was easy. It continues to be difficult, but so many lessons have come from it. So many blessings have come from it. So many gifts, despite the really challenging time it's been and despite the storms. So I am grateful for it, despite, the times I question and wonder why, Lord, because that happens too. But there have been so many gems and jewels that I will take for the rest of my life from 2021. I am ready to see it go and see what 2022 has to offer. I saw a meme yesterday that said, "Oh no, 2022 is," I'll put it in the comments so that y'all can see it, or the banner so y'all can see it. But it said it's 2020 TOO. And how scary that is. But despite what we may have had as a very challenging year, I am so incredibly thankful for 2020 and 2021, but I'm ready to see a new year and new experiences. So with that said, how we didn't actually plan how we are rapping today, which is hilarious. I think let's see what the folks have to say. I think that's the best way to go right now. Arthur, thank you for tapping in. We really appreciate you. He said, those jerseys are getting us closer and preparing for the next shutdown. Yeah, I think that's a great place to transition. Arthur, thank you for that. This is why we need our audience as our host, because there's so much going on right now with Omicron. Where are we in terms of that? And where do you all see us moving in the next year in terms of Omicron and COVID-19?
I feel like
I think we're in trouble. I think that the virus is spreading like crazy. The hospitals are filling up, and there's some question as to whether or not there'll be a need to shut down again. And there's always going to be resistance to that, of course. But and we're just going to have a certain percentage of the country that's just not going to cooperate in terms of taking vaccines, getting masks, keeping their distance, or anything. They're just not going to cooperate, and they'll keep this thing going. Now, this is a problem we have in this country, but I think all over the world it's an issue. African nations aren't getting as much vaccine as they should. We're always the last to get stuff and the first to be exploited by the continent. So, anyway.
I agree with Ralph. I think we have to be as careful as we can possibly be, as cautious, as distant as we need to be, and use our common sense. I said to somebody last week, stop listening to what they're saying on TV. Read the news, because if you read the news, you get a whole different perspective than what's being said in the sound bites on television. So be alert, be careful, safeguard yourself and your family. Megan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what everyone has said. I just hope for that certain percentage of the population that is just not ready to be vaccinated and wear masks and things like that. I hope that maybe that can change, because like the example of, African countries not getting the vaccines, like enough vaccines that they should. And it's just like, we are kind of in a great place and a place of opportunity to be able to have these at our disposal, like so easy. So I hope that people can take advantage and get vaccinated and get their boosters so that we can someday make an exit from this pandemic.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with what's been said thus far. I think right now we really just have to protect ourselves. And even those of us who are vaccinated and ensuring that we are doing everything in our power, even if we're going to, events and wearing our masks, let's really try to social distance. I
Mhm.
know it's very difficult to do even around family in particular. Um, you want to be around your folks, and we've been so isolated, but social distancing is key at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
know at least the DMV, I have no statistic to back it up, but it feels like everybody and their mama, which is like 1 in 3, at least in the Black community, right, has COVID right now, and it's not
Right.
funny, but it's real.
Mhm.
I saw a meme the other day that I did have to chuckle at, where it said, um, in December 2020, people would write, the worst thing, my worst fear has come to fruition. I have COVID-19. Now, 2021, people are saying, oh, I got the vid, I got COVID, but I'll be back in 10 days or whatever. And I had to chuckle because that is the case. But at the end of the day, it's not a game. It's not funny. And people are getting it in crazy numbers at this point. And so, though we have a lot of things in place to protect ourselves, and I know that's why we feel more comfortable gathering with our families, and it's the holidays. And so I'm not going to be the Debbie Downer to say not to do it, but I'm saying if you do, really, really work to social distance and do all of those things in place to keep you safe. If you are going to hug, throw on the mask to do that. And then you
Mhm.
can take it off and eat, you know, at a nice distance from your family. But there are ways to try to keep yourself safe during this time and try to social distance.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Let's just not get complacent, basically, which is piggybacking on what everybody says. I feel like a lot of people are getting complacent, and with our double vaccines and with our boosters, we think it can't happen to us, or we won't get sick. And I know people want to live their lives like you said, so let's just not be complacent, and like you said, use common sense.
Absolutely. And I
Absolutely.
just feel like hindsight has just been so costly for, the Black community, and even for, just the way that our country has handled this pandemic. It's like in no way am I like pro vaccine, but I am anti COVID. Okay. I don't want to be sick. Me and Misha actually talked about this a couple of weeks back when we were on the phone in a private conversation, but I actually had the flu in February 2021, yeah, this year. And it was just terrible. It lasted for like 3.5 weeks.
Mm.
I took so many different COVID tests. I had to quarantine. I had to do all these extra precautions, and it's just terrible, and it wasn't even COVID. So it's like, for my own peace of mind, I went ahead and got my booster. I'm already, got the double vax and everything like that. And, I'm just going to move forward and continue to mask and wash my hands, much of which all of you have said. But it just sucks. Like, I mean, it's wintertime now, so I am fully comfortable with being in the house. Okay. So I can live my best life virtually. But it's just what we have to do right now. And I just wish more people would see it like that, as opposed to saying, oh, well, the government don't want us to do this, the government's trying to control us, all these conspiracy theorists. It's just like, no, dude, do what's best for you and do what's best for your house and your family. That's it.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, this might go down as one of our longest Afro News at Noon episodes, but I think that is good and necessary because sadly, we have a 2 week hiatus. We are on the Afro is acknowledging the holidays and New Year's Eve, or sorry, New Year's Day, excuse me. Uh, the over the following Mondays. So we wanted to make sure we gave you all news that you all can use over the next couple weeks. We will see you though in the new year with a whole lot of updated greatness. As we always say, we have our We're Still Here January edition coming, and we need our community activists to be nominated. We need to know that these folks are out there doing good work. And so if you know somebody who is in the DMV, really serving the people, really out there, make sure that you are letting us know. And you can do so by sending an email to editor@afro.com or to myself, which is mgreen@afro.com. Let us know who's out there doing that good work. We want to highlight them in our community activist edition. So yes, either mgreen@afro.com, that's me, or at editor@afro.com. We'll see that, and we will try to highlight those folks that you let us know are doing good work in the community. Any other updates, folks? Well, with that said, Happy New Year and happy holidays, everybody. Thank you to all those tuning in. Thank you, Arthur and Jason and all those. Our Hawet, I hope I got that correct. And all of those people who are tuning in, we really appreciate you. And thank you for your comments and for engaging with us. And with that said, take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Peace.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.